Hi, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to your practice. My name's Elisa. If we haven't met before, it's so lovely to have you here. I hope you're doing okay and taking care. Today we will get straight into it. So wherever you are, just finding your way to a comfortable position to begin the practice, to begin this really intentional transition to the present moment. So you might like to sit up on a block or a blanket and find a seated position, much like I'm in, or you might like to start lying on your back. Lying on your back, maybe palms facing up or palms facing down. You can decide what feels the most nurturing to you as you take a few moments to arrive to your body. So I'll give you a few moments to settle, to fidget, to do whatever you need to do to find some comfort. And perhaps here it's comfortable to close down the eyes. And if it's not, that's absolutely okay. Just settling here with a soft gaze, either at the sky or the ground beneath you, depending on where you're sitting or lying. And we draw attention and awareness to this present moment, to your physical body to begin. Noticing your surroundings, whether that be through hearing or feeling. Noticing the stability of the earth beneath you. And with that awareness there, perhaps you can soften 5% more of your weight, maybe 10, into the earth as you bring vibrancy, bring aliveness to the back of your body if you're seated upright. And perhaps this vibrancy carries all the way out to the crown of the head. This simultaneous anchoring and lifting, tall, bright, present. And here you might slowly begin to reclaim, regather all the parts of you you've shared with the world today. Noticing a general tone or way of being. Rhythm to how you are, to the day you've had. And without judgment, without criticizing, and softening. And can you create this gentle attitude of opening, of curiosity, of compassion? And as you do this, beginning to identify your breath. And just noticing how it feels, watching it ebb and flow. You may even like to begin counting the length of your in-breath and the length of your out-breath. And the invitation here is to allow this count to be equal, samavritti, equal part breath. I'll leave that up to you. You decide. And I'd like to open the space, this place of practice, by acknowledging the land. And here where I sit, work, and live, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. And pay my respects to their elders, past, those present, and those emerging. And you might like to do the same for the land you sit on today. I'd also like to acknowledge the ancestors of this practice of yoga, this rich and sacred Eastern tradition. And what an honor it is to be learning, to be benefiting from these practices that have been cultivated over thousands of years. They've eventually led to us here in the West. Such a privilege. And pay my deepest respects and gratitude to those before me, my teachers, and those teachers' teachers. Whenever you're ready, beginning to breathe in and out through the nose in a way that is very intimate, I guess. Just noticing, watching as if this next breath is the most beautiful thing you've witnessed today. Notice if there's a desire to sigh or exhale, release anything out the mouth. I invite you to honor any of these intuitive signs or signals from the body today as we begin moving together. And then when you feel ready, you can blink the eyes open if they're not already, and inhale the arms wide and high. Here from a tall seat, bringing the right hand to the left arm just above the elbow crease, closer to the top part of the arm. And then maybe you sink the back of the head into the right forearm. Anchoring the hips down, inhale, lift from the ribs. Exhale, tilt to the right. Let that right arm draw that left arm over to the right side. Couple of breaths here, stretching those intercostal muscles between the ribs. Inhale, back to center. Both arms lift, and then taking the opposite side, left hand to the right arm, top of the elbow, top arm. Lifting here, and exhale, tilt to the left. And anchoring that right hip. Inhale, back to center. Hands behind your back, bind them, clasp them if you'd like. And drawing the heart space open here, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you, and then exhale, bring the right hand, the back of the right hand to the left hip. Just drawing open that right shoulder, right pec for a moment. Inhale, fist behind you, bring the heart space forward, then exhale, back of the left hand to the outside of the right hip. Another breath here. And coming back to center, expanding the chest. And then maybe flicking the arms, flicking the wrists, shaking it on out and making your way into an all fours neutral spine position. Feeling your way into all fours. And then perhaps here, once you find this position, you might like to take some cat-cows, dropping the belly, lifting the tail and the gaze. Perhaps there's a little bit more intuitive, organic movement here. I'll let you decide what feels best as you begin to weave in this sense of authority into your practice. You have choice, and everything I say is just very gentle guidance, just an idea of where you might like to take this. And sometimes it's nice to be told what to do or to have someone else decide for you. So you choose what's best for you today. And if anything doesn't suit your body, you can alter it, you can skip it. When you're ready, we'll spread the fingers, tuck the toes, hover the knees, and then find your first downward facing dog. We'll get straight to it today. Once you arrive in down dog, you might like to really deeply bend the knees, hover them, and then maybe expanding through the back of the legs by pedaling the feet, alternating, dropping one heel at a time. Or any other movement that feels good in this shape. Just taking a few more breaths to really arrive. Spreading the fingers, externally rotating the shoulders as you maybe hug in the slightest bit, the lower ribs, tilting the tailbone in the sky. Trusting the arms, trusting the shoulders here. We're going to start moving through a rolling plank. As you inhale, come forward, high toes. So you shift forward into a high plank position. Bend the knees, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. We'll do that 2 more times. You can move really slowly. You can move energetically. You choose. Coming forward, hugging in the navel. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once more as you unravel, unfurl forward into your high plank, hugging in. And then bending the knees, sending the hips up and back. This time you can continue moving just like we have been, or you can come all the way forward into a tucked toe up dog. So dropping the pelvis just to hover off the ground as you open the chest, pull the sternum forward, keep the toes tucked, press the ground away with the hands, upward facing dog with your toes tucked. If it's too much on the lower back straight away, you just stay in your high plank. Exhale, find your navel, drawing it into center, downward facing dog. Exhale. We'll do that 1 more time. Your choice. Coming forward into plank, or maybe that tucked toe up dog as you pull the heart space forward, draw in the navel center, hover the thighs, use the arms here, press the ground away. Hug in the belly as you set yourself back, downward facing dog. Few more moments to settle here. Move, breathe. Next time you unravel yourself forward into a high plank, finding stability, then lower the knees, the belly, the chest, and the chin all the way to the earth. Coming up through cobra of your choice, you might like to take the fingers wide or keep them in line with the side body. 3 breaths through flow. Inhale to lift into baby cobra. Exhale to lower. 2 more like this. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Once more here. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. This time, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, finding Sphinx pose, forearms touching the ground, fingertips spread wide. We draw the navel up and back as you draw the heart space forward, squeezing the shoulder blades behind you ever so slightly. Pubic bone pressing into the mat, tops of the feet pressing in as well. Option to stay here. This might be enough sensation for your liking today, or you can explore bending the knees, maybe one knee at a time. Seeing how this feels, and staying for a few more breaths. Compression through the back body. Pressing the ground away with your arms, heart space keeps drawing forward. One more breath. Slowly lower the knees, the legs if you've bent them, lower the forehead, and prepare yourself for your downward facing dog. You might like to come back through a child's pose for a moment, maybe some all fours and movement. And this is where we'll meet when you're ready. Your next exhalation, look in between your hands, come up high on the balls of the feet, float, or find your way to the top of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Bowing forward, exhale. Grounding as you rise through the strength of the legs, Urdhva Hastasana, hands in the sky. Palms touch as you pour yourself all the way back down. One more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. Tall and strong as you rise with grace all the way up to the sky. And then bowing your way back down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reaching the right leg behind you. Lower the right toes, the right knee to the mat. Finding your way into a low lunge as you rise, Anjalayasana. Settle here in this shape just for a moment. Drawing the left hip back, the belly in. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand. Back of the right hand finds the outside of the left knee. As you keep that left arm lifting, gaze under the left armpit. Drawing that left hip back in space. Big twist here. Fingertips are alive on both hands. Full breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then making this a bind by bringing the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, pressing the hands together, twisting over to the left. Breathing here. Using that contact between the hands to allow you to soften the shoulders away from the ears, perhaps deepening the twist with your own strength. Inhale, unravel. Both hands to the inside of the left foot, and then we're going to tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, walk your way to the right, finding Prasarita forward fold. Big, wide-legged forward fold here. Toes are pointing pigeon-toed inward just a little bit, and as you bow in between the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend through the right knees. You take a side lunge. Let that left leg be straight, outer blade of the left foot pressing into the mat. Keeping on your halfway lift, inhale back to center. Exhale, deep bend in the left knee, side lunge. Opening the inseam of the right leg. Inhale back to center, one more time each side. Bending the right knee, side lunge. Inhale, center, halfway lift. Exhale, bending the left knee, side lunge. As you walk your hands back to the left, letting them frame the left foot, plant the hands, sweep the left leg behind you, three-legged dog. Bending at the left knee, stacking the left hip on top of the right if you would like. See if you can contain and square the shoulders, opening up through the body. When you exhale, delivering the left foot next to the right, downward facing dog. This time, can you step the feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart in your down dog? As you roll, as you come here, you're gonna roll forward into plank and then drop both heels to the left, taking a stretch through that side body. And again, it's a twist here, so can you square your shoulders, pressing into both hands, both heels dropped to the left. Option to stay here or take a side plank, stabilizing the left hand, lifting the right arm up. Freedom and invitation to stay here. Or you might hover that right leg up and step it behind you to the right as you find a wild thing. Deep bend in the right knee as you send the pubic bone, the hips towards the sky, right arm up and over. Big expansion, totally optional. Exhale, slowly feeling your way back into plank. And here you're able and invited to move through a vinyasa of your choice. Maybe it's knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. A few breaths to settle here. On your next exhale, looking in between your hands, high on the balls of the feet, bend your knees. We'll meet at the top of the mat, however you'd like to get there. Halfway lift, in breath. Softness in the knees as you bow forward, out breath. Rising tall, hands to the sky, inhalation. Pouring and feeling your way all the way back down to earth, exhalation. Halfway lift, inhale. And then stepping that left leg behind you, exhale. Lower the left knee to the ground. Find your way into a low lunge, Anjalayasana. Rising up, only when you're ready. You can move at your own pace here. A moment or two to settle. Maybe you stretch into the lunge and then you find that containment of the front body, stabilizing here, finding your balance, exploring. Your exhale takes you into a twist back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. As you keep that right arm lifted straight, gaze comes underneath the right armpit as you press the back of the left hand into the left knee. Twisting here. Finding stability through your base, one more breath. And then exhale, hands to heart center in a prayer position. Stay in your twist. And then if you would like, hooking that outside of the your right knee with your left elbow. Pressing the hands together, drawing this into that twisted prayer, low lunge. One more breath. Feel the shape of the breath here in this twist. Stabilizing, spreading the effort and energy into both legs, out the crown of the head even perhaps, drawing the shoulders away from the neck. Inhale to unravel both fingertips to the inside of the right foot. You're in this lizard lunge for a moment. Then you walk both hands over to the left, finding your prasarita forward fold, adjusting your feet as you would like. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, softness in the knees as you bend forward. Halfway lift as you inhale. And then exhale, bend into the left knee, extending that right leg straight, awakening that inner line of the right leg. Inhale, back to center, stay in your halfway lift. Chest is lifted, tabletop shape of the spine. Exhale, bend into the right knee, left leg is extended, side lunge. Back to center, one more each side. Exhale, side lunge to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, side lunge to the right. Using your inhale to walk your hands all the way back to the top of your mat. Pivot the toes, plant the hands, you're in your long runner's lunge, and then right leg sweeps behind you, three-legged dog. Full breath in. Bending the right knee as you stack the right hip on top of left, and bringing awareness to the chest, the shoulders as you square them here. Inhale. Exhale, lowering right toes back down, downward facing dog. So you step the feet a little bit wider than the mat. Inhale as you roll yourself forward into plank. Freedom to stay here or dropping both heels to the right, taking that twist. Square the chest. Feel that ringing out of the midsection. Option to stay here or take it into side plank. Right hand anchors, left arm lifts. Breath to stabilize. And freedom again to stay here or hover that left leg up. Step it behind you, taking a wild thing here. Totally optional. Explore as you'd like. One more breath. And then slowly feeling your way back into plank position, stepping that left foot to meet the right. Both hands find the earth and flowing through a vinyasa of your choice. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. A rest is absolutely welcome anytime you need it. You can always lower the knees, sink the hips back into child's pose. Welcoming yourself back to this resting position. Perhaps not a restful position for you just yet, but we're working towards that. So reconnecting back with your breath, back with both hands and feet on the ground. When you're ready, lifting the right leg high behind you, integrating this leg with the shape of the spine. Exhale, knee to nose as you step that right foot in between your hands. Setting yourself up for a crescent lunge as you rise, press the ground away. Inhale here. Exhale to settle. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, bringing the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Gaze underneath the right armpit. Just like we did on the ground. Inhale. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart in a twisted prayer, and then option to take that bind. Left elbow hooks to the outside of the right knee, both palms pressed together. One more breath here in your twist. And then exhale slowly, both fingertips frame the right foot. And the option is to find pyramid pose, extending the right leg as you shift the right hip back into space. Excuse me. You might like to step that left foot forward just a little bit. You might like to bring some blocks or props underneath your hands here so you can find more space for the breath. If this does not suit you today, you can also lower the left knee and take your half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. One more breath here. And then deeply bend through the right knee. Shifting your weight into the right foot as you take this into a standing balance. Draw the left knee to your center as you bring the arms up. One sweeping movement here. Just a moment of balance here. Being kind to yourself if you wobble, it's part of the practice. Find tallness, vibrancy through the back body. Maybe you'd like to extend that left leg straight, engaging the core. Drawing left thigh towards your belly. One more breath here. Slowly transitioning to warrior three. You can keep the arms out in front of you, or you can sweep them behind you as you take this standing balance. Lifting energetically the back of the left leg, the left butt cheek high, as you simultaneously lower the torso towards the ground, making the shape of a T. One more breath. Energy out the fingers. Bending the left knee as you lower the left foot, warrior two. Take your time here. Set yourself up. Inner arch of left foot in line with the right heel. And then arms come out here. Opening the side body to the left. Gaze over the right fingertips, flipping the right palm, reverse on your inhalation. Deep bend through the right knee. Inhale. Exhale, right forearm on top of right thigh, left arm sweeps up and over. Side angle pose of your choice. Maybe fingertips to ground. Maybe you're ready for a full bind here. Left fingertips catch the right wrist. So you draw everything in line with your hips. Radiating from your center, if you are in your bind, looking down at the right foot as you step the left foot to meet the right at the top of your mat, forward fold. If you're not in your bind, just meeting in Uttanasana. For those who practice Bird of Paradise, that is invited here. I'll demonstrate as you shift the weight into the left foot, draw that right knee up, staying in your bind, finding your balance. As you find your way upright, maybe one day that right leg extends straight. If you are not doing Bird of Paradise, you are in your forward fold. You're hooking your peace sign fingers around your right big toe. Left hand finds the left hip as you draw that right knee in towards your belly. And then maybe one day, maybe today's that day, you can begin to extend that right leg straight out in front of you, maybe even opening it out to the side. I'll let you decide. Everyone, regardless of what shape you've taken, slowly coming all the way back down to the earth with grace and control. Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Bowing forward, exhale. Inhale to rise all the way. Urdhva Hastasana, hands in the sky. Pouring yourself carefully all the way back down. Halfway lift, inhale. Bowing forward, exhale, plant the hands, step both feet back, flowing through a vinyasa of your choice. A rest, if you'd like it. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Wherever you are, we'll meet to align the breath. Inhaling fully. Exhaling fully. When you're ready, lifting the left leg high behind you. Exhale, knee to nose, step your left foot in between your hands, arriving in your crescent lunge as you're ready. Inhale to arrive and exhale to settle into the shape. Maybe a soft bend in the right knee. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the left, back of the right hand to the outside of the left knee, keeping that left arm lifted, gaze under the left armpit. Freedom to stay here, or maybe taking your hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer position as you're twisted, and taking that bind, hooking right elbow to the outside of the left knee, if you would like, pressing the hands together, drawing the gaze over the left shoulder, left elbow, making space for the throat. One more breath. Your exhale unbinds you as your fingertips frame the left foot, finding your long runner's lunge. And an exhalation leads you into pyramid pose. Left hip draws back into space. Again, please make adjustments however you'd like. Maybe bringing those right toes a little bit closer, just making sure to not lock through that left knee. And again, dropping the right knee and sending the hips back into half split. Monkey God pose is absolutely invited. Bowing over the left leg, pyramid pose. Very slowly on your next in-breath, deeply bending through the left knee, and then thinking we're coming into that standing balance, one sweeping movement, right knee and arms up towards the sky. Beautifully done. I know it, even though I can't see you. Finding your balance, either staying here or maybe challenging, extending that right leg out in front of you, drawing that right thigh up towards the belly. Fingertips reaching. One more in-breath here. Exhale, sweeping back into warrior three, finding that balance. Shifting the weight, bringing that energy to the back of the right leg, right butt cheek reaching towards the sky. Squaring the hips. Bowing forward with the torso, finding that shape of a T. Whole back body is vibrant, alive, lit up. Bending the left knee as you lower the right foot down, warrior two. Chest open to the right side of the room this time. Deep bend in the left knee, left fingertips leading here. And take a moment, readjust. When you're ready, flipping the left palm up and over, reversed warrior. Exhalation leads you into a side angle pose of your choice. Forearm to thigh, arm can reach up, maybe fingertips to the inside of the left ankle. If you are binding, slowly feeling your way into your bind, reaching underneath the left thigh. Right fingertips reach that left wrist, and then you draw, rotate the chest, the heart space towards the sky, pressing energy into that right foot. Gaze comes to the left foot. Regardless of if you're bound or not, right foot comes to the top of the mat to meet the left in your forward fold, Uttanasana. Those binders, switching energy into the right foot as you slowly stay bound here. Come into bird of paradise, if that's in your practice or if you want to experiment. Left knee lifts, and then maybe one day the left leg can extend. If you are not binding, your peace sign gripping the left big toe as you draw yourself back up into a standing balance and perhaps exploring extending that left leg. Wherever it is expanding to today is perfect. One more breath as you slowly, safely present the left foot back down to the ground to meet the right Uttanasana. Halfway lift, inhale. Bowing forward, exhale. Rising tall one last time as you inhale the arms wide and high. Expand towards the sky. And exhale to pour yourself soft bend in the knees all the way back down. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant the hands, step the feet back to take your final flow through a vinyasa here, where we'll meet in a downward dog. And of course, skipping is absolutely invited. Wherever you are, we will align the breath. Inhaling together, long breath in. Exhaling together, long breath out. As you slowly come forward, bring your knees to the earth. And as you come to stand up on your knees for a moment, we'll just play around with a little back bending before we close the practice. So you're standing up on your knees. The tops of the feet are pressing into the mat, or the toes can be tucked. If you need to help your little toes to tuck under, you can do that now.
We'll flow through some dancing camels. So again, we're looking for that containment from the front side of the body. A little bit of awareness through the lower back. From here, we're bringing the hip points forward, the thigh bones forward. So you bring the left fingertips to graze the left heel. The right arm will sweep up.
As you swap over, arms switch places.
Right fingertips to right heel, left arm switches up. A couple more times like this. Slowly guiding yourself into a bit of a back, heart opening, back extension. Dancing camel here, right fingertips to right heel, left arm reaches up.
And the invitation is to continue moving like this with your breath. One breath per movement. Or if you feel warm enough and ready for a bit of camel pose, a little bit of a deeper experience, you might like to follow me. If you find this is not working for you, just slowly come out and come and take a rest. So fingertips at the lower back, fingertips facing the ground, palms touching the sacrum. As you squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw that heart space forward, but again, remain contained through the front of the body. We want to support the lower back with the core, the strength of the core. So you bring the hip points forward. You might like to untuck the toes here, press the tops of the feet into the mat. That'll give you a little bit more stability. So you bring the thigh bones forward, slowly start arching and opening. You might stay here, or maybe the right hand can reach the right heel. Maybe the left hand can reach the left heel. Perhaps you stay here. Draw your heart open. If you are feeling safe and available to expand even more through the throat space, you can drop the head open, taking it into the full expression. Slowly, taking a breath or two more, those in Ustrasana, drawing the chin towards the throat, very mindfully bringing the hands back up to the lower back. And then everyone, we will meet here and slowly come to sit on the heels for a pause. If it's not comfortable to sit on the heels, you can find a comfortable seated position where we will just rest in awareness. Noticing how you feel. Noticing if we have expanded or if you have accessed some information or sensation. Can you remain compassionate and curious? Realigning with your breath. Taking as much time as you need here, or slowly coming to sit on your sits bones. We'll finish in a forward fold, finding your way into Dandasana, legs extended out in front of you, engaging through the core, lifting up here, arms come high, toes are gently flexed, folding forward into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. And any expression of the shape is yours. Perhaps the knees are bent and the belly is resting on the thighs, the forehead reaching towards the ground, the knees. Perhaps allowing this to be an offering to your body, this opportunity to gently close in all of that expansive twisting, back bending. Coming back home, reclaiming all parts of you as your practice slowly comes to an end. And take about another 2 breaths here. When you're ready, slowly unraveling as you prepare yourself to find the way, maybe with the eyes closed, all the way to your back body. As you spread out here, taking up space, reaching, expanding, stretching with your arms if you want. So you allow yourself to rest in Shavasana. If there is more movement that you would like to take, you are welcome to do so. Twisting or an inversion, whatever you feel the need to do to close your practice, I will allow you to be the guide. And eventually, you prepare yourself for this very intentional space of rest. Trusting the stability of the ground beneath you. As you soften each part of yourself to the earth in an act of restoration, integrating your practice. We'll sit in silence together for a few moments. And if you have the time to rest in this offering of Shavasana to yourself, I invite you to stay as long as you need. For those hoping to close the practice with me, you can begin to invite in a little bit more movement, stretching, yawn, sway, as you reawaken through the physical body. Eventually allowing this movement to carry you all the way back up to a seated position facing me. Reestablishing your seat, that vitality through the back body, vibrancy, a buoyancy out the crown of the head as you anchor and lift at the same time. And bringing the palms to touch here in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. As we close in this gesture, gratitude and humility. In a moment here to be expressive of your gratitude, and perhaps considering what you're grateful for, or you might like to set an intention for the rest of your day, or something else perhaps. And when you feel ready, slowly bowing your forehead towards your heart. And closing by bowing all the way to the earth to seal in your practice. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. I hope you're doing okay. Know that you can always reach out. I'm here for you, even just to say hello. Any feedback or comments are welcome. Otherwise, until next time, thank you.